Lucas here from Penn News. Today I'm in Archway, part of Jeremy Corbyn's Islington North constituency. Of course, Mr Corbyn was the former Labour leader, chucked out of the party by the current leader, Keir Starmer, amid a row over anti-Semitism. I'm here today to speak to the voters of Islington North to see whether they'd be minded to re-elect him were he to run as an independent, or whether they think perhaps he'd split the vote and let in another candidate, or maybe they think that Labour would just win it outright. Anyway, we're going to find out. Let's go and talk to him. How do you feel about the local MP here, Jeremy Corbyn? Do you think he should seek re-election as an independent? And how do you think he'll do if he does?
I think he should seek re-election. I think he'll do very well. I think many of us in Islington who've lived here for any length of time know what a fantastic Member of Parliament, what a fantastic sort of representative of Islington he was and is.
As a Jewish man, I personally think that was a very shitty and cheap trick to get him off. Like, I've never seen, or really convinced of any anti-Semitism. You mean to
throw him out of the party?
Yeah.
Right.
So that made me actually trust him a little bit more, because that was just a scam. That was just a way to get him off, because it was just getting too popular.
I think Jeremy Corbyn is a very, very nice man.
Okay.
And he loves the NHS, sticks up for the doctors, and he's always by their sides.
I think his time as Labour leader was obviously a disaster, because it resulted in, what it resulted in.
Yeah.
However, as a Democrat, I think it's fantastic that people like him exist, and that the Labour Party needs to accept a lot wider group of people, doesn't it? A greater number of people representing different parts of the party.
I think he's a very good constituency MP.
Yeah. How did you feel about his time as Labour leader?
I had mixed feelings about it. I think some things I think he's very committed, but maybe not the best person to have been a leader.
Would you say that you're a supporter of Jeremy Corbyn?
I might be, but I would definitely vote for anyone who's more socialist leaning. Yeah, sure.
Would you like him to run again as an independent if he can't run as a Labour man?
Yes, I would.
And would you be minded to vote for him if he did?
Yeah, I would vote for him.
I think it's up to him, but I think that it's maybe quite divisive to do that.
Do you think he might split the Labour vote, do you think?
He will split the Labour vote.
Right. And do you think there's any chance of someone else getting in off the back of that?
Yes.
I personally think he should step aside for a Labour candidate. I think the danger is that he'd split the vote.
I just think whoever ends up as Prime Minister will have the same problem.
So do you think that if he can't stand again as a Labour candidate, that he should seek re-election as an independent?
He should, and obviously that will split the vote from the left, won't it? But
right.
I do think he should, for his own personal.
Do you think that if he does that, it's likely to result in somebody else getting in, or do you think it's still going to be a left-of-centre candidate?
I think in Islington it would definitely be Labour, but not necessarily left of the Labour Party.
Hello, before we continue our video, can I just invite you to check out the Penn News Substack at pennews.substack.com. That's pennews, pennews.substack.com, where we post all of our Vox Pops in full with analysis every week, as well as all the other stories we're working on in the course of a given week, so be sure to check us out. Okay, let's continue. And how do you feel about the Labour Party in its current iteration under Mr Starmer?
I feel it's not the Labour Party that I would want. I was a Corbynite, I'd say, but I appreciate that that's a kind of a bit of a utopian fantasy, that to believe that we could elect a truly socialist government in this country. So I suppose that I'm not particularly keen on Starmer and his policies, but they're certainly a whole lot better than the Tories.
It's giving New Labour, and it's still the same thing. I don't know, very modern neoliberal left party.
Would you be tempted to vote for him at all, do you think?
I'm not too sure. Probably not.
Well, I think it's a bit weak. He needs to step up a little bit, be more positive.
More positive?
And just get on with it. Let the others do what they want to do, Because it's on the TV this morning. how destructive the Conservatives have been, and that's all because of Boris Johnson.
I don't think he's doing a great job. I think he's doing okay, but he's relying far too much on the weakness of the Tories. You know, he's dependent on the Tories continuing to mess things up, which is pretty reliable. But I don't think that's good enough.
Do you think that he was right to chuck Mr Corbyn out of the party when he did?
Yeah.
I think there would have been. I think they both could have had a more conciliatory approach. And seeing as they're supposedly in the same party, I think both of them were very stubborn, and I don't think it helped.
I think Keir Starmer has to walk a tightrope, and he's not doing that terribly successfully. He needs to come down on whatever side he wants to come down on, so everyone knows exactly where he stands. At the moment, he's walking on that tightrope, trying to please everyone, and it isn't working.
Do you think he'd be better off just sort of getting off the fence, as it were?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Even if I didn't particularly agree on the side that he ended up on, at least people would know what they're standing for.